Good evening, everyone. Please join in as Matthew T. Avery leads us in the pledge to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. Superintendent Jeff Simonak, members of the school committee, and Board of Selectmen, invited guests, faculty, family, and friends, and most importantly, the class of 2020. I would like to welcome you to this evening's graduation ceremonies. Please pause for a moment of silence for our service people, those who are currently serving, members of the class of 2020 who will serve, and those who have fallen in the service of this great nation. Before we get started, it is important that I take a moment to thank some of the key people in making tonight special. Senior class advisors Ms. Courtney Jones and Ms. Karen Gagan-Lopes for the hours they have dedicated to the senior class. Mrs. Siobhan Horton for performing and accomplishing many unrealized tasks that take all day and many hours late into the evening to make sure this ceremony runs as smooth and properly as possible. Ms. Carrie O'Rourke and Mr. David Fleck for the organization of this evening's festivities. Mr. Marcus Casey and Mr. Jason Cook for providing all audio and visual enhancements tonight. Finally, as you obviously know, we are holding this ceremony virtually due to some last-minute circumstances. While their work is not currently visible, I would be remiss if I still didn't thank Mr. Ernie Sandlin and his facility staff. They must be commended for all the additional setups required for this year's celebration. I would now like to introduce Abigail Pulling, President of the Class of 2020, to welcome you all to tonight's ceremony.
Welcome and good evening to the Class of 2020, and to all of those who have supported us to this milestone. It is difficult to put into words what we have been feeling over the past year, but in an attempt to sum it up, it feels like a roller coaster. And not the fun ones that release serotonin in childhood memories, but more like a rusty, never-ending ride with some screws missing, loose seatbelts, and numerous public safety violations. It is crazy to think that on March 13th, 140 days ago, myself and nearly every single student watching this sprinted out the doors of the school, ready for a 2-week coronacation. That phrase did not age well, because instead of a short break from our senioritis, we forfeit the rest of our senior year. And looking back, it is easy to regret not stopping through the hallways to say goodbye to teachers and classmates that mean so much to us. We were robbed of a goodbye. But that is how life goes, and it stinks. There are forest fires that burn through countries, a water crisis, death, canceled graduations, and a disease that uproots the world as we know it. However, when I look out and see the graduates, I see change, positive change. The change that comes from perseverance, solidarity, versatility, education, and quite frankly, love and passion. I see volunteer leaders, doctors who will come to cure our viruses, scientists and engineers who will save our planet, artists, soldiers, nurses, firefighters, activists, hard workers, and well-rounded citizens. So to the class of 2020, I urge you not to be discouraged by the news, from the loss around us, and by devastation. I urge you to be the change, to accomplish what you are passionate about, and to fight without fear of failure or disapproval, and to do it with love and a sense of where we came from and what we have overcome. There's a lot of world out there. Let's go do some changing, because there are a million things we haven't done. Just you wait.
Please welcome the Salutatorian of the Class of 2020, Nicholas Femia, presenting his speech, Keep Pushing Forward.
Good evening, Class of 2020, teachers, faculty, staff, and guests. It is so nice to be here with my fellow classmates and friends after not seeing most of you for so long. Thank you all for being here today. I am so lucky to have the opportunity to give a speech in between our wonderful classmates, the President and Valedictorian. I want to give a special thanks to the faculty of Whitman-Hanson for making this possible today. These have been extremely difficult times. The coronavirus pandemic has affected all of us in ways that we never could have imagined. So many people have been lost as a result of this horrible virus, and many more have permanent effects from their illness. This is one of the worst things to befall our country. All of us have seen a lot of unfairness lately due to and on top of the COVID-19 pandemic. We are lucky to have the ability to have an actual graduation, but all of us are rightfully disappointed in not experiencing the last bell on our last day of high school, a normal senior prom, and everything else that our class has missed out on this year. These are moments that we will never have the opportunity to make up, but I hope that we will all be brought closer together as a result. We are going to look forward to seeing each other at class reunions and other events, even more than we normally would have. This part of our lives is just a blip in our time at Whitman-Hanson, and we will not let it define our high school experience. If this has taught us anything, it's taught us to not take anything for granted and to be thankful for all of life's treasures. I, for one, would give anything to spend one last day going through my class schedule. I am beyond honored to have the ability to give you this speech as the Salutatorian of the class of 2020. Walking through the doors of Whitman-Hanson as a freshman, I did not know whether or not I was going to thrive in high school. Many of you may already know this, but I started off my high school career having to wear a back brace for scoliosis and kyphosis. I had to wear the brace for 23 hours a day throughout the entire school day until the end of our sophomore year. I didn't know how I was going to be able to concentrate in class and focus on my homework while being constantly short of breath and unable to bend my torso normally. Never mind graduate as a top student of our class. Some might say that it was more of a medieval torture device than a medical treatment, but I nonetheless persevered through the pain and discomfort that it caused me. One thing that my brace, among many other things the past few years, especially recent events, has taught me is that life isn't always fair, and that the best you can do is put your full effort into all that you do and fight through all of life's setbacks. The past 4 years at Whitman-Hanson have been unforgettable. I would not have met some of my best friends had it not been for our time here. I am going to miss all of the funny memories that I have with classmates, learning in class, running astronomy club meetings every other Friday after school, going on whale watches with the Marine Biology Club, attending school dances, participating in Quiz Bowl, being a part of student council, serving the community in honor societies, hanging out with friends, and everything else that I took part in while attending Whitman-Hanson. I would not be in the position that I am in had it not been for the wonderful staff that we have here at Whitman-Hanson. Teachers like Mrs. Smith, Ms. Caruso, Mr. and Mrs. Dempsey, Mr. McHugh, Mr. Chismar, Mr. Kozak, and Mr. Bertello, as well as my school counselor, Mrs. Garrett, just to name a few, have had an unforgettable impact on me. Mrs. Smith's mentorship in biology and as the president of the astronomy club, and the love of mathematics that Ms. Caruso reinforced in me, among the other encouragement that I received from teachers and staff, have inspired me to always aim higher in my goals and to keep powering through all of life's difficulties. I will never forget the stories about Mr. and Mrs. Dempsey's children that brought so much humor into the day, or the countless jokes from Mr. Kozak in AP Physics. Life is a journey that cannot be ventured alone. One of the most important things in life is to make sure to surround yourself with people who you can talk to when you're feeling down, who always have your back, and who will push you to reach your ambitions, and who you would be willing to do the same without even a single thought. I am truly going to miss being a student at Whitman-Hanson. All the early mornings, the late nights spent doing homework and sometimes so-called weekend work, and hurried lunches are behind us, as are all our rallies, homecoming dances, club meetings, and sporting events. While most of us will be going our separate ways, whether it be off to college, into the military, or into the workforce, we will always be Panthers. No matter where the future takes us, we will always be graduates of Whitman-Hanson, and I wish my classmates the best in all of life's pursuits. It's important to remember that it's not what college you go to or what career path you choose that will determine your success. It's what you accomplish while you're there. I cannot conclude the speech without thanking my mom, my dad, my brother Aiden, my sister Juliet, Nanny, Grampy Bill, Auntie Mimi, my cousin Emerson, Nonna, Nonu, Uncle Frank, Uncle Lou, my cousin Abby, and everyone else in my family. Sorry, I'm Irish and Italian, so I have a large family. For all of the love and support that they have given me. No matter what punches get thrown at you, class of 2020, just remember to hold your heads high and to keep pushing forward.
It is my pleasure to welcome to the lectern the valedictorian of the class of 2020, Chloe Wilson, to present her speech in just 5 minutes.
Good evening and welcome to Superintendent Simonak, school committee members, Dr. Jones, Whitman-Hanson's lovely staff, friends and family, and of course, the graduating class of 2020. I feel incredibly lucky to be standing here today, even if we must be divided by a screen. If there's one thing 2020 has given us, it's plenty of chances to reflect on our lives and years of school so far. So let's start at the beginning. Kindergarten is where our Whitman-Hanson journey began. We climbed up the steps of the big yellow bus and set forth on a 13-year journey, having no idea exactly where it would take us. Filled with potential and boundless curiosity, we laughed our way through elementary school, enjoying weekly show and tell sessions, hashing chicks, and fleeting trends like silly bands and Reebok Zig-Tex. At the start of middle school, Whitman students merged from Duval and Conley, while over in Hanson, we adjusted to the newness of schedules and locker combinations. In 8th grade, Ponyboy reminded us that nothing gold can stay, but that didn't really sink in until times like May of 2016, when we faced the loss of our friend Sam Andrews. Sam would be graduating with us today, and on days like this, we keep his laughter in our thoughts. I know he's here with us today. High school felt scary and unfamiliar, and everyone said it would be the fastest 4 years of our lives. We didn't believe them. But in the blink of an eye, those countdowns to graduation diminished. Our fears of the seniors became fears of no longer being seniors. 13 years together, complete with an unexpected 4 months apart, and I was told to write a 5 to 7 minute speech to close out this substantial chapter in our lives. This was overwhelming at first. What could I say to summarize a high school experience that has been so far from ordinary? How could I express the love I have for the class of 2020 in 5 to 7 minutes? But I kept thinking, and I realized what 5 short minutes truly can hold. 5 minutes is the time it takes to roll the car windows down in the summer breeze and scream along to the climb beside your best friends. 5 minutes, you can take those final steps of a hike to rise over the top of a mountain and reveal breathtaking views of the horizon. Just 5 more minutes is what we would beg our parents for at playdates when we weren't quite ready to say goodbye. 5 minutes could be the length of a dance performance dedicated to your grandmother, or the walk into the gym on rally day, covered in Panther pride. Or, in a fraction of that amount of time, you can take a bow at the end of a school play, or discover that your team qualified for tournament or even won states for the very first time. 5 minutes can feel like forever when you're on a plane ride home from London, or it can go by in the blink of an eye when it's 6:59 and you're sprinting to get to the school before the doors lock. I challenge everyone in the audience to take a few moments at some point tonight and think of 5 unforgettable minutes of your own life. You might be wondering, where's she going with this? Well, I believe that in order to appreciate the days, weeks, months, and years, it starts with just 5 minutes. 5 minutes can change your life, or it can make you so unbelievably fulfilled by your life that you can't imagine anything changing. If 5 minutes of time can hold so much value, imagine what a lifetime can be filled with. 6 months ago, I wouldn't have believed it if you told me I would be graduating 2 months late in the midst of a global pandemic and long overdue civil rights movement. It's strange how time works in this way. Time has the ability to change or to heal. It can reveal the injustices and flaws of the world and push you to fight to fix them. Time, even in 5-minute increments, can be filled with whatever you'd like. It has no physical definition, yet we live in strict accordance with it. Perhaps because it makes us feel slightly more in control, where not even a 20/20 vision can help predict what the next 5 minutes will hold. for all the accomplishments and lessons which prepared us for these unprecedented times. We owe appreciation to the people who never left our sides. I would like to personally thank my mom and dad for the hugs and anecdotes when it felt like the world was going to end, my brother for teaching me to stay curious, my teachers for more wisdom and after-school advice than any textbook could cover, and all of my friends and family for being a constant source of inspiration and laughter. Thank you all for believing in me even when I did not believe in myself. As we've all realized, you don't always get those perfect High School Musical storybook endings. So I could end this by paraphrasing the great Troy Bolton in saying, "Once a Panther, always a Panther." But instead, I'll leave you with a couple of guiding principles so each of you can make the most of every 5 minutes. Say yes enthusiastically and often. Keep your eyes, ears, mind, and heart open, and treat each moment as an opportunity for an abundance of love, laughter, and adventure.
I would now like to invite our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Jeffrey Simonak, to present his remarks to the class of 2020.
Good evening, members of the school committee, Dr. Jones, parents, and members of the class of 2020. Thank you for giving me a few minutes to speak to you. I know many of you are really angry and upset about the decision to cancel the in-person graduation. I get it, and it's okay to feel that way. I've learned quite a bit about feelings and emotions this year. I can only express to you that I understand your disappointment, and I hope in time you will accept and understand why we made the decision. On my way to school today, I passed a sign with a huge heart that read "Hope." And I started thinking about my feelings about the class of 2020 and my hopes for you. I hope that emotion will always be part of who you are. It's okay to be angry, sad, happy, fearful, surprised, embarrassed, excited, or relieved. In my family, we say feel your feels, and don't let people guilt you into feeling a certain way. I hope you follow your passion, knowing that your passion may change. This is your time and your opportunity. It may be school, it may be travel, and it may be something I've never even heard of. Pursue it, try it. Don't grow old and say, I should've, would've, or could've. I hope you find love. Finding, losing, and being loved is an essential part of being human. I hope you are eternally optimistic and see the glass half full rather than half empty. I hope you have empathy to understand and accept the way others feel or see the world. I hope you have courage to be the change the world so desperately needs. I know that members of the class have grit, perseverance, and determination. No other group of young people in recent years have had their world changed so dramatically and in such a short period of time. But here you are, finishing what you started. I know that you are all smart. Some of you have book smarts, some of you have street smarts, some of you have both. Use the lessons that your teachers and parents have taught you. Don't underestimate your intelligence and try to learn something new every day. I know that you are kind. Please continue to be kind, even when it's hard. Finally, I know that you will be missed. The Whitman-Hanson class of 2020 was always respectful, passionate, funny, and really just a great class. Your class made history, and this class will never be forgotten. 40 years ago, in 1980, the U.S. was in turmoil. The economy was struggling, U.S. citizens were taken hostage in Iran, and there was an energy crisis. Anything familiar here? The 1980 Olympic Games were being held in Lake Placid, New York. Going into these games, the Soviet Union had the best hockey team in the world, and the United States team weren't given a shot to win. They weren't even supposed to be good. However, the U.S. team, being led by amateurs, college kids, made it to the medal round and were playing Russia, all professionals. I'd like to pull some of Coach Herb Brooks' speech that I feel is relevant to your class. Great moments are born from great opportunity. And that's what you have here tonight. That's what you've earned here tonight. One game. If we played them 10 times, they might win 9. But not this game, not tonight. Tonight we are the greatest hockey team in the world. This is your time. Their time is done. It's over. I'm sick and tired of hearing what a great hockey team the Sylvias are. This is your time. Now go out there and take it. Class of 2020, this is your time. This is your opportunity. I'm tired of people telling me how kids today don't value what they have, don't work hard, complain, etc., etc. I've seen different. I've seen who you are. Go out there and show them. Be the leaders we need. Be the change. Go out there and take it. Make Whitman-Hanson proud. Thank you and good night.
Please welcome the chairperson of the school committee, Mr. Robert Hayes, as he addresses the class of 2020.
Good evening. On behalf of the Whitman-Hanson Regional School Committee, welcome to the commencement ceremony for the class of 2020. It's great to be here with all of you. There was a point in time when I wasn't sure if this day would come. We've had many special people here tonight: faculty, administrators, town officials, parents, family, and friends. But most importantly, the class of 2020 with 260 graduating seniors. Now, seniors, what about that parade? That's a first, I think, in Whitman-Hanson history and one of the best things I've ever seen. And we're going to mark that down to make sure that it is a first. I think this was the year that you were part of another first in Whitman-Hanson history, a 3-month school closure in COVID-19. Yet, in troubling times, this class made the most of an unprecedented, difficult situation and not only endured, but excelled. You kept up with classes remotely and completed as many senior events as allowed. This shows immense character, resilience, and strength. There are 4 ingredients for a successful life: living, laughing, loving, and learning. Become a lifelong learner. Never be afraid to ask tough questions and demand answers. Live life to the fullest. Have no regrets. Go the extra mile toward success. Love your family and friends with fierceness and compassion. Respect yourself and always remember to lead with your heart. Class of 2020, never stop laughing. Laughter is the key ingredient in keeping a healthy body and mind. You have seen the power of laughter in the challenges of the last few months. In the pursuit of your dreams, whether near or far, come back and visit us. You will always be a Panther. Congratulations to the class of 2020.
Please welcome the high school assistant principal, Mr. David Fleck, to the podium for the presentation of awards.
The Alton E. Taylor Award, given by the class of 1951. Alton Red Taylor was a member of the class of 1951 who lost his life in the Korean War. Classmates saw Red as a young man who was unknown and in some ways a non-participant until he flourished and became a leader during his senior year. Thus, the class of 1951 felt this award should be given to the senior boy who realized his potential during his senior year. The high school faculty votes this award. The recipient will receive a check in the amount of $400, and his name will be inscribed on a plaque prominently displayed in the school. The recipient of the class of 1951's Alton E. Taylor Award is Joseph T. McStravick. The Narissa Lynn Cross Cup Award, given by the class of 1999. Narissa Cross Cup was a member of the class of 1999 who tragically lost her life in a car accident during her junior year. Narissa was a determined and outgoing girl who excelled in academics and athletics. This award is given each year to a senior who has overcome difficult personal circumstances in his or her attempt to attain educational goals and who plans to attend college. The recipient will receive a personal plaque and a check in the amount of $250, and the name will be inscribed on an award plaque prominently displayed here in the school. The recipient of the Narissa Lynn Cross Cup Award is Natalia K. Santos. The Whitman-Hanson Regional High School Alumni Scholarship is presented annually to students who have at least one parent who attended Whitman-Hanson Regional High School. The scholarship is in the amount of $500. The recipients of the 2020 Whitman High School, Whitman-Hanson Regional High School Alumni Scholarship are Sadie E. Carew and Brian R. Fox. The recipients of the Whitman-Hanson Education Association Scholarship are Chloe S. Wilson, Nicholas J. Femia, and Catherine R. Cronin. The Eugenia F. Lovell Award. This is considered the highest award and is the final award granted at graduation. It is given by vote of the faculty to the boy or girl who is outstanding in character and leadership, and particularly in service to the school. Candidates should be in the top third of the class scholastically. The recipient of this award will receive a check in the amount of $1,000. The recipient of this year's Eugenia F. Lovell Award is Courtney J. Woodward.
Each year, seniors are invited to submit a speech before a committee for the opportunity to offer a few words at commencement. This year, Victoria Carlton has been selected for this honor. Her speech is entitled Forever and Always. Victoria, the microphone is yours.
Hello everyone, my name is Victoria Carlton. I didn't tell my parents I was going to write a speech and audition for class speaker, so they're probably a bit confused. Mom, in my defense, you always say, just go for it. What do you have to lose? So here I am taking your advice. 4 short years ago, we all walked through the doors of Whitman-Hanson as little freshmen, scared of going to the wrong class, missing lunch, or not having classes with friends. Well, now we are big bad seniors and our time here is complete. We all put in the hard work and the effort, and now it's time for us to move on to our new adventures. Since March 13th, all we wanted to do was go back. We missed seeing teachers, for example, Miss Galambos waving good morning to us in the halls at 6:40, Mr. Moriarty yelling in the hallway and sometimes throwing a cup at us. We even missed acting out Hamlet and seeing Miss Cordo's blue prom dress. There's moments within our high school careers that I'm sure most of us would love to go back to. Getting hyped up for a Friday night football game while some would try to come away victorious with the superfan coaches, prom, our last rally, senior nights, and so much more. During these moments, time froze. We're all one big Panther family. Those are some of the good old days. You never really know you're in the good old days until you have to say goodbye to the ones who made it a good day. As I say goodbye to my classmates and the teachers who have helped guide us on the right path throughout the 4 years, my heart is not saddened nor empty. Instead, my heart is beaming with joy and pride. My classmates have shown me so much. They have shown me what it's like to have the courage to be unique. For example, Megan Ford was the only girl on the varsity football team. Bethany Ralph was the only girl to make it to the stage on the wrestling team. My classmates have shown me what it's like to persevere and succeed. For example, the boys varsity basketball team made it to the Garden and won. My classmates have shown me creativity, for example, the way Kendall Colclaw painted the mural of the tree on Miss Smith's wall. Kendall's painting is a symbol representing how we're all going to make our marks on the world. To the class of 2020, we are so special, we are so unique, we are historic. There never was a class like ours, and there never will be. We were the pioneers of Zoom University while our senior events were slowly ripped away from us. We experienced a lot of hardships that came with COVID-19, and let's be honest, a lot of tears were shed. But we persevered. Look at us. We're not graduating in the gym, but we're the very first to graduate on the field. We did it. Thank you for all the memories, friendships, and the laughs we shared throughout the years. Our time has come to say goodbye to the place that shaped us into who we are and the place that helped us grow. I cannot wait to hear all about your successes from 6 feet away. Thank you, Class of 2020, for everything, especially for giving me the confidence to stand up here today on behalf of you all. It's an honor to be a part of such a historic class. Forever and always, Panther Nation. Thank you.
Change, uncertainty, and the moments in a person's life when the desire to move forward or improve builds to a point where it is capable of overtaking the comfortable safety staying in place affords. As we are all capable of attesting to, sometimes we make that final decision while, well, sometimes it's made for us. I think Christopher Loeb puts this build-up and moment of truth, as it were, perfectly in his poem, Come to the Edge. Come to the edge, we might fall. Come to the edge, it's too high. Come to the edge. And they came, and he pushed, and they flew. I remember back to a summer day in 1989 when a senior I personally knew was driving down the road when a certain song came on the radio. That song, End of Innocence by Don Henley, laid out what was becoming clearer to me as the summer wore on faster than the memories of end-of-year celebrations. While the verses didn't really apply, the refrain, End of Innocence, did. Sure, my next steps were in order. However, I wasn't sure where I was going to go in life, but I knew I could no longer stay where I was. Now, many of you graduates may have never heard of Don Henley, but does any of the idea of knowing but not really knowing sound a little familiar to any of you? Come to the edge, we might fall. You walked in these doors 4 years ago, nervous, uncertain, maybe somewhat overwhelmed, or maybe somewhat confident. Come to the edge, it's too high. You made new friends by both choice and circumstance. You tried new clubs, sports, and activities. You were pushed by teachers who, at times, saw the better in you before you saw it in yourself. Come to the edge. Upon arriving and looking over it after all your effort to get there, you saw the loss of the traditional ending and the uncertainty of the future. It has been too easy to lose sight of the fact that in the end, it isn't about what you lost, but rather what you have gained through the experience. True, you left before senior year ended, faced remote learning as a global pandemic burned through our population, and protests turned into riots that ravaged cities. But you also found an opportunity to realize you are capable of continuing your education. Slow down, be present, and value personal relationships often taken for granted. Become vocal about systemic changes that need to take place in the name of equity. In the end, not in spite of what happened, but instead because of it, you were given the opportunity to change your perspective, renew your values, and understand that the world will forever be in a state of tension between change and tradition. Class of 2020, you have learned that you have the opportunity to be that bridge between what must pass and what must come to be in many facets of life. It is now your time to make good on that opportunity. You came as we asked, and you were pushed by events out of your control, and you will fly. The thing about being pushed to fly, at first, it's scary, kind of like leaving high school. You have to keep working hard until you learn to glide, because flying at first is a little awkward, maybe like your first few months or year on your own after high school. Gliding is okay until you realize that you continually fall farther from the clouds than those who are still flying or putting in the work to be as successful as possible. Once you fly high enough, you realize that the view or feeling of success above the clouds makes you forget that it's any work at all. In fact, you find that you have abilities beyond your belief, perseverance to overcome any obstacle, and a perspective that continues to feed both. In fact, while you are grateful you were, you wonder why you had to be pushed at all. You were enough all along. You just didn't realize it yet. Class of 2020, come to the edge. We might fall. Come to the edge. It's too high. Come to the edge. And they came, and he pushed, and they flew. Congratulations. I would now like to invite Brian Fox to the podium to recite the class ode.
Persevere with gratitude. What if, 10 years from now, I told you that your life would be exactly the same? I doubt you'd be happy. So why then are we so afraid of change? Tough times never last, but tough people do. The recent events have weathered us. They have prepared us for whatever's next. Through these tough times, we have learned that problems are not stop signs, they are guidelines. So we must be reflective in the sense that we learn to progress, reflect with a purpose, and let what we've learned shape our future. There are no mistakes, only happy accidents. You need to spend time crawling alone through the shadows to truly appreciate what it is to stand in the sun. We are seekers of experiences, wanderers on these mightily intriguing rails. Our dreams are not confined to the fancies of our mind, rather we have the ability to bring these passions to life, to change the world to match our vision. In life, the critical thing is whether we take things for granted or embrace them with gratitude. We never know the worth of the water until the well is dry. So we beat on, our boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past. And as we navigate our way throughout these adventures, don't forget to enjoy the little things in life. Because one day you'll look back and realize they were the big things. Sometimes, the little things are the most worthy of remembering. Ferris Bueller reminds us, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you can miss it. When we're older, living on our own, high school may seem like a distant memory. Our most influential moments have happened here. High school was a time when we started to construct futures, build our friendships, and transition from youth toward adulthood. Education is a dress rehearsal for the role of life, and we each have been cast as the lead. Our time as students at Whitman-Hanson may be at an end, but what we've learned here has prepared us for whatever may come. These past years have taught us that all you really need is love and a little help from your friends. Even while stuck in isolation with our senior year and our final times together cut short, we learned to make ceremonies out of the air and breathe upon them. Though the troubles of the world may seem never-ending, things are always better in the morning, and the class of 2020 perseveres.
Liam Keene will now present the class gift.
The purpose of a class gift is to leave a legacy, but I think our class speaks for itself. We're already a legacy. We were hit with something no other class has ever experienced, yet it didn't stop us. We found new ways to carry out our daily lives and special celebrations. Whether it was a Zoom meeting or a drive-by birthday parade, we found a way. I think we've all learned the lesson that nothing is certain. Anything can change at the drop of a hat. But whatever happened this year, we made the most of it, because this was our year. It was our time to make some memories. Now I know we're not all here together, and I know we all wish we were. But we all went through this together. All of us in the class of 2020 know how each of us feel about this past school year. And I'm certain that none of us want someone to experience a year like ours again. Therefore, in order to move forward and conquer these unprecedented challenges, the class of 2020 will be establishing a COVID-19 relief fund, inspired by a time where families, students, and the community are in need to continue education in new ways, whether it be online or in person. We hope this fund can supply tools like school accessories, Chromebooks, calculators, and more supplies that families may be in need of during this shift in learning. We hope that in this time of uncertainty, our class's legacy can drive the world to a better tomorrow. Thank you.
I would like to invite President of Class of 2020, Abigail Pulling, to the podium for the presentation of the Teacher of the Year and Staff Person of the Year.
It is my privilege to recognize Mr. Brian Dempsey as Teacher of the Year. We are so grateful for you teaching us and coaching us, making hilarious class trip and teacher videos on YouTube, and always being there for each one of your students. For Staff Member of the Year, we would like to honor Miss Catherine Getchell. After 35 years of dedication and service to our district and community, we wish her the best of luck with her retirement this year. Ms. Getchell has proven crucial to the success of our students and her joyful presence within the halls of Whitman-Hanson will be missed. On behalf of the Whitman-Hanson class of 2020, thank you.
At this time, the graduating class will receive their diplomas.
Chloe Charlyn Wilson.
Nicholas John Femia.
Abigail Rose Pulling.
Matthew Tyler Avery.
Brian Robert Fox.
Liam Thomas Keene.
Victoria Grace Carlton.
Sarah Healy Allen.
Ashley Niaup Baker.
Jason Charles Brodeur.
Ian James Brown.
Sadie Eleanor Carew.
Olivia Caitlin Chase.
Kylie Elizabeth Concannon.
Marissa Catherine Connell.
Alexis Nicole Connolly.
Eve Marie Cox.
Catherine Rose Cronin.
Zoe Rose Cox.
Kaylee Marie Deal.
Michael Patrick Doucette.
Annika Ray Fleck.
Catherine Marie Goldberg.
Owen Scott Golden.
Christian Tyler Paul.
Delaney Nicole Hall.
Julia Audra Harrington.
Jacob Christopher Hill.
Samantha Ruth Hurley.
Nikki Camparides.
Nandita Mutu Kumar.
Ethan Andrew Lenahan.
Timothy Jake Long.
Reese Cynthia Manter.
Jenna Nicole Mara.
Olivia Ann Martin.
Lauren Teresa McGann.
Monica Mendez.
Adam Joshua Maluski.
Madison Elizabeth Navicki.
Abigail Maria Newman.
Jordan Elizabeth Pellisier.
Emma Louise Perkins.
Samantha Flora Perkins.
Cullen Thomas Poth.
Bethany Faith Ralph.
Abigail Veronica Raposa.
Catherine Jillian Ryan.
Victoria Nicole Ryan.
Alex George Shea.
Catherine Ann Stetson.
Gabriella Ilian Turlikova.
Samantha Claire Thompson.
Caitlin Mary Benito.
Reed Junsang Watson.
Kyla Elizabeth Wienko.
Erin Marie Wood.
Courtney Jean Woodward.
Caesar Mendoza Zarita III.
Colby Donald Ahern.
Aaliyah Mendez Alfama.
Peyton Lee Anastasia.
Brianna Lynn Anderson.
James Coleman Anderson.
Lillian Renee Andrews.
Zev Joseph Andrup.
Stephen Edward Bagley III.
Lauren Christina Bain.
Haley Alice Baldwin.
Carly Elizabeth Ball.
Zachary William Ballard.
Brooke Taylor Beauregard.
Michael Edward Benedict.
Olivia Grace Bickle.
Riley Elizabeth Bina.
Sarah Jane Bombardier.
Leah Teresa Bonfiglio.
Max Michael Gorgon.
Victoria Rose Voss.
Ryan Matthew Bossy.
Nicholas James Bowden.
Damari Unique Brandau.
Stephen Arthur Brooks.
Ryan William Brown.
Michael James Buchanan.
Patrick Phi Bowie.
Matthew David Bunzel.
Aiden Joseph Burke.
Dylan Wade Burns.
Victoria Rose Byron.
Brendan Michael Hallway.
Isabella Rose Campitelli.
Matthew Christopher Caparello.
Gabrielle Silva Cardozo.
Catherine Kelly Carlson.
Cincha Chagas Cavello.
Nicholas Eric Carlson.
Kendall Therese Coclaw.
Miranda Hope Coletti.
Harrison James Collette.
Edward Dennis Collins.
Amanda Rose Camo.
Hannah Elizabeth Conroy.
Calvin John Cooper.
Jacob Shea Conroy.
Haley Marie Corbett.
John Joseph Cosgrave.
Devin Nicholas Coolstring.
Brendan Francis Cox.
Shane Michael Craven.
Presley Catherine Craig.
Tyler Christian Cullinan.
Hannah Rose Damon.
Xavier Louis DePina.
Aiden Brian DeRozier.
Andy Lynn DeBona.
Isabel Millionita Dizon Stoll.
Rory Michael Driscoll.
Mackenzie Lee Dudas.
Tressa Forbes Duffy.
Maya Lauren Durant.
Alexis Janine Dizek.
Adam Anthony Everidge.
Maya Elizabeth Feisch.
Jillian Elizabeth Feeney.
Anthony Thomas Ferroli.
Matthew Jose Figueredo.
George William Ferroli.
Allison Rose Figueroa.
James Patrick Fitzgerald.
Michael Paul Fleming.
Robert Joseph Flynn Jr.
Megan Mary Ford.
Audrey Lynn Fuller.
Brittany Leanne Gachicha.
John Arthur Gajewski,
Sofia Cordozo Garcia,
Colby Michael Garden,
Michael Alexander Gardner,
Zachary Michael Garnick,
Thomas Robert George,
Brian Anthony Gervasio,
Erin Catherine Gillen,
John Henry Gillett,
James Michael Gooding,
Kyle Patrick Gordon,
Skyla Blue Olson Gorman,
Hannah Eleanor Guthrow,
Robin Jean Goyette,
Christopher Kenneth Giuliani,
John Benjamin Hagan,
Brandon Cole Hager,
Nicholas Michael Hanley,
Casey Ray Marie Hanshaw,
Logan Roger Hyatt,
Kyle Thomas Hunsinger,
Tyler Robert Hyatt,
Rachel Nicole Hunter,
Riley Landon Hurley,
Mary Catherine Elizabeth Hutchings,
Alexina Olivia Hutchko,
Julia Rose Jacob,
Sarah Rogers Jacobs,
Gianna Marie Jenkins,
Ananda Trinity Jordan,
John Joseph Jordan,
Mary Catherine Kanash,
Ryan Andrew Kelly,
Stephen Jeffrey Kelly,
Matthew Ryan Korzek,
Juliet Tabitha Laguerre,
Zachary Paul Lazon,
Leanne Aries Levitt,
Robert Raoul LeBeau,
Caitlin Noel Leonard,
Jayla Cheryl Lopez,
Corey Lou Long,
Lillian Taylor Maines,
Matthew Daniel Marini,
Peyton Tiffany Manter,
Ashley Brianna Martin,
Eric Joseph McCallum,
Callum Hugh McCann,
Erin Elizabeth McDonald,
Joseph Michael McGann,
Emily Rebecca McLeod,
William Daniel McGann,
Mia Faye McQuarrie,
Joseph Timothy McStravick,
Jared Michael McTurnan,
Taylor J. McTurnan,
Declan James Meehan,
Christopher Menguel,
Riley Thomas Miller,
Dylan Sochit Nguyen,
Sophia Elizabeth Molinari,
John Brian Malise,
Ava Faye Morgan,
Sydney Renee Mountcastle,
Reese Hanley Nowazelski,
Robert William Nicholson,
Cole Robert Norton,
Samantha Marie Nunes.
Kyle Cameron O'Connor.
Sabrina Elizabeth O'Connor.
Cassandra Jean Oldham.
Ben George Pacheco.
Cassidy Marlene Caker.
Angelina Grace Palazza.
Caitlin Marie Pattison.
Malachi Adaritu Herrera.
Nicole Marilyn Perry.
Jason Hui Pham.
Gary Francis Filippo III.
Elijah Michael Hinney.
Brooke Isabella Pistorino.
Shaylee Lynn Hond.
Cameron Luong Hoare.
Hannah Marie Praviti.
Noah Charles Radford.
Dylan Charles Reed.
Catlin Jean Regan.
Benjamin Carlton Rice.
Ryan William Rollins.
Sarah Catherine Ross.
Kayla Leanne Ryan.
Delaney Marie Royer.
Emily Ann Sicardo.
Natalia Karine Santos.
Vahi Sarafian.
Victoria Jean Scully.
Maya Ann Shangold.
Paul Xavier Shaughnessy.
Michael James Smith.
Adam Thomas Solari.
Robert William Stevens II.
Christopher Ross Stoddard.
Andrew Patrick Sullivan.
Riley Elizabeth Sullivan.
Ella McKim Sweeney.
Madeline Rebecca Tassie.
Caitlin Gail Tobias.
Benjamin Walter Turner.
Benjamin Tusi.
Chloe Ann Turner.
Owen Thomas Valancourt.
Joshua Matthew Turner.
Thomas Joseph Vassell.
Anthony Killian Vieira.
Megan Kylie Wagner.
James Paul Walters.
Julianne Lorraine Wheeler.
Dane Mitchell White.
Emma Christine Wolford.
Isaiah Umged Yakub.
Caitlin Marie Young.
Christopher Allen Zalewski.
Autumn Lynn Zanaboni.
Jonathan Majid Zaiden.
Keely Teresa Zimmerman.
Class of 2020, it is an honor to exercise the responsibility vested in me by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Please move your tassels from right to left. I now pronounce you graduates of Whitman-Hanson Regional High School. Congratulations.